don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
So you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
The flow insane, take my spot, so the range. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. 3rd degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so boss, we're not the same. Paid the cost and kept the change. Now I'm walking Hall of Fame. And I reside in the cloud. Grand wishes with these bitches. Taking pictures with the crowd, and I'm out.
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's the word? What's the word? Peace and blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Wednesday. Well, no, not Wednesday. My bad. The heat trying to get into me a little bit. Happy Thursday. Friday right around the corner. The weekend is upon us. Shout out to my poets, writers, and content creators. Much love to everybody who has been pouring out to me, that's been considerate, participating, sharing your feedback on different subjects. I just want you to know you are appreciated. You are heard. Your voice matters on this side of the internet, no matter what anybody says. See the title. I got the clip. We're going to have us a nice little conversation, some grown folk talk. Is that okay? I don't see nothing wrong with that. There ain't no harm in having some grown folk talk. And we're going to be unbiased, and we're going to be fair across the board. I got to give a shout out to it, and I might slay the name. So if I do, forgive me. I'm going to just say Jakuja. I don't know if that's Jesus Joy or what, but it's pronounced JAKUJAJESUS_Joy on TikTok. Sometimes you got to hear it out the mouth of the opposite gender for you to get it registering in your head. What you want me to say? We don't do biases over here. We don't pick sides. We're not trying to tear down anyone or make anybody feel less than or greater than. It's not about none of that. It's to offer a different perspective. That's it. That's all. So what I'm going to do is, I see OTC is in the studio. I'm going to let him get his setup together, get clipped up. I'm going to bring this up on the big screen. I'm going to let her get her bars off. Let me say my thoughts and prayers go out to the people of Europe, though, because I had no idea that it was that bad out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, type in heat wave Europe, and then you'll probably have a different respect for the AC, for the air you got. You think it's cooking where you are right now, you're not going to want to be where they're at all. I promise you that. All right. Let me bring this up on the big screen. This cool. Not too sure how long the clip is, but I'm gonna let her get her bars off, and we're gonna chop it up. If you sensitive and you easily get offended, this ain't for you. All right.
Once a man stops correcting you, you should know that the love that he has for you has officially grown cold. The Bible says something very interesting. It says that whomsoever the Lord loves, he corrects. So whenever your man loves you, he's going to correct you. Correct the way you think, correct the way you do things, correct the way you speak, correct many things about you. Why? Because he loves you. And a man helps you by correcting you so that you don't run the risk of him falling out of love with you. Now, when a man has tried to correct you over a period of time and you choose not to listen, eventually he stops correcting you. Why? Because he has concluded that no matter what happens, you will never listen to him. And once a man gets to that point where he stops correcting you, you are in danger. He's going to let you do whatever that you like, however that you like it. Why? Because you don't listen to him. You don't take his correction. So as long as a man can't correct you and show you the right way, that man doesn't love you. You might think that, oh, my man is so peaceful. He lets me do what I like. No, that man has fallen out of love with you. So while you are still with that man, while you're still married to that man and he's still correcting you, correcting even the smallest things about you, just know that is the evidence of the fact that that man loves you. Once the man stops correcting you, you are in danger. That man has detached. That man's love for you has grown cold. He couldn't be bothered. Why? Because he doesn't care. So he's going to let you do whatever anyway. Why? Because it doesn't bother him. He doesn't want you. He doesn't love you anymore. He can be there physically, but his mind, his soul, emotions, everything about him has checked out. So if ever your husband was correcting you, please take heed of those corrections and start fixing those things, because that is the evidence that your man loves you. But if he has stopped correcting you, you are in danger.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I told you this is for the mature adults. You can't be childlike. You can't be listening to Glorilla or Megan Thee Stallion and trying to have a conversation of this magnitude. It's not going to work. Now, I want to be perfectly clear. The man that she's referring to, the man that she's referring to is essentially going to be the one that fits in every category that you asked for. All the qualifications, all the receipts, that long laundry list. He meets those requirements. Seeing as how you have a plethora of conditions that have to be met. So we're not talking about Chad and Tyrone. We're not talking about Future. We're not talking about your side quests, the dudes that you have fun with. We're talking about the actual guy that you want to settle with. She's referring to him. Question for y'all, for the people who play this back. Why do you marry someone if you don't trust in their leadership or their counsel? The person meets every single condition that you ask, but yet and still there's this conversation. You have women like her who have to step in the gap and repeat something that we've been saying for dozens and dozens of years. Why are we even here in the first place? You get the guy that you asked for. He takes care of everything. But when it's time for direction, he's met with rebellion. OTC, hopefully you heard the clip. You see where we're going with this. We're talking specifically about the guy that did the honors and put the ring on the finger and took this person off the market. That she has an issue with following. This ain't a new conversation. This is something that's been problematic for a very long time. You care to give a little of your thoughts on what she said in the video, or just in general your observation at the barbershop, having this conversation with coworkers and things of that nature? First of all, good evening, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna start off with. Good evening, sir. Um, you did bring up one thing that I like to comment on, and that's it's hot. You know, people who ain't get the message or whatever. It's hot out there. I was out there, man. I'm talking about triple digits. So let's start off by saying if you got to do some walking, man, don't. You gotta wait on the bus, don't. If your AC out, get it fixed. You know, it's real out there. And if you just just stay in the AC. That's the bottom line. But to go in on this, man, on this topic, man, here with the woman giving up advice about, I guess, marriage advice and stuff. Well, I will say this to the guy. Let's go with the guy because we got to get on both people here. This is a two-way street. Um, with the guy, I'm gonna say, for one, why would you put a ring on someone's finger when you know you're not getting that? You see what I'm saying? Why would you escalate the relationship to that point when your girlfriend, then wife now, is not following you? She's not listening to your guidance. She don't believe a fucking thing you saying to her. So you got to put some blame there on him. Why would you escalate something and it was the red flags was already planted. We've been through this before. We talk about it all the time with, you can't get no respect, she don't love you. We went through this. And for people that still make the same mistakes, shame on you. Shame on you. Um, it's a lot to unpack for sure. And when it comes to these ladies, you know, we're gonna put this on the table since we talking about this topic here tonight. Let's put this on the table. Let's bottom line this real quick. For a man and a woman, how many men and women, when it comes to these relationships and these marriages, you get in these marriages, how many men and women will rather just be the groom or bride and not the husband and wife? Let's bottom line this shit. Cause a lot of people just want to show up for the festivities, but then when it's time to put in the actual work, they wave the flag. They not ready for the responsibilities of that title. That's the truth about it. But everybody want to get that. So, that's just my initial thoughts, man. But you tell me.
I saw a post somewhere. A woman said, "I want a partner, not a husband." And I ain't gonna hold you. That one sentence freaked me out. You want a partner instead of a husband. I'm confused by that. I don't know who she is, where she is. Maybe one of y'all can help me to understand what that is, because my translation of a partner versus a husband is someone who doesn't want to take the role as a helpmate. A, a partner is someone that you go into business with. A partner is someone that invested equal equity within a business or a company. A partner is someone who signed on a contract to perform the same duties as the other individual that has the same amount of property or intellectual property at stake. So I don't know what you mean when you say you want a partner over a husband, unless what you're trying to imply is that what surrounds the terminology or the definition of husband is so old school and so old traditional, you don't like where it places the woman, and so you don't want to be that. So you want to stand side by side with the person, and it goes into what you were asking or what you are trying to allude to. You do realize that there has to be someone leading within the relationship. You're not disqualified from participating with your thoughts and your views and making the home a home and things of that nature. You're not disqualified in terms of your voice. You're not disquieted. No one is tying a sock around your mouth and sticking tape in your throat to keep you silent, and you're just supposed to bear children. But there's a reason why biblically men are supposed to stand at the forefront and you're supposed to stand behind him. There's a reason why the guy stands on the outside of the curb and you stand on the inside of the curb. But see, it don't seem like what y'all want is that. You want to be husband. You want a lesbian relationship. And even, which is funny, even within lesbian relationships, there still has to be one person that's subservient to the other, because you go after dominant traits within the other person. I'm gonna stop right there and gather my thoughts, but yeah, that I don't. I'm not with that term at all.
Okay. Going back to what you just said, the husband and partner. I'd rather have a partner than a husband. Well, to me, that sounds like, someone's trying to avoid accountability for their title. I give you my name or whatever. You got my name. You know, we walked down the aisle. We did all that. We did the festivities. Now it's time to go ahead and fulfill your role. And I think that's what the pushback come in. No, no, the truth is no. A woman shouldn't be no slave. We talk about that all the time. She shouldn't be no slave, or you know no threshold for men to just walk over and all that. I'm not saying that, you know, but a part of being someone's partner is to be in compliant and cooperative with your wife duties, your role. That's how you show me you a great partner. You don't tell me you're a great partner, you show me. And if you can't do that, then I don't see why everything gotta escalate and go to this level and that level. See, before you even get to that stage, I believe all that should be already sorted out, with what a man does and what a woman be doing. We gotta put all that on the table before we get to that point. Because don't nobody wanna get to another level when you don't know what you getting into, if you know what I mean. So I think, some females, I ain't saying all, but some of these women, man, they just want help, man. They, like I say, the average woman out here that's got a husband. I ain't saying all, but I mean that the average one, they don't never had a man they really want, man. We've been through that before. They don't. They they got what they can get, and that's the average marriage, man. So what I mean by that is you get the stability, you go for the help, you know what I'm saying, the security and all of that, and then you still, search for what you really want. We've been through it before. The bottom line is, if everybody can get who they want, or they want a certain type of dude or whatever like that, will they will they do the duties of their title, which is a wife? And I'm just saying most modern day don't want to do that. They don't want to be traditional. They want to go against the grain when it come to that. And when it go like that, that go back to the disrespect. Not They not respecting the vows and everything that, y'all supposed to be committing to. So basically what I'm saying is, who's really taking that shit serious? That's all I gotta say. If you're not trying to take it serious, why go there? Men too. We on deck too. Sometimes you can have something that's kind of ready, you're not ready. You're not ready for the blessing, I guess. To be a situation like that. Most people ain't do enough work on themselves. I'm gonna say that. They ain't do enough work on themselves to even go to that next level. So I mean, it's a whole lot of angles you can look at this situation, but the bottom line is, man, people, most of the women out here, man, they don't really know what they want, man. They you know they all over the place, and that's the issue. And if you're gonna be with somebody, like how she was saying in that video, if you're gonna really be with the person that you're with, you know, why why be with somebody that you can't, you don't trust them enough to, listen to what they saying. You see what I'm saying? And then she also said a man to stop telling her what to do and all that. Like, it shouldn't even get to that point. You mean to tell me you willing to let your your significant other, your wife, go out and do anything on you, and you just sit there and don't say nothing? Like, I'm not feeling that either from the dude. So I just think it need to be up front. I think the conversation should have been had, and it should have been more upfront before you even crossing them waters. You got it.
Y'all really got to define the terms of your relationships before it gets serious. Define the terms of them. Make sure you know the definitions and the meanings behind the contracts that you're signing up for, so that you don't end up having to quarrel with the person that you're physically, spiritually, emotionally connecting yourself to, possibly bringing potential little ones into the generations to come, all because your information has been muddled by a variety of different perspectives, minds of men and women who were raised by a cattle in a placement of sheep that are all being led by social media, and individuals who have no real groundwork to stand on. They have nothing concrete to substantiate the levels of success based on their own stuff. You have to dig, and you have to go real far within your own self first to discover if you as an individual want to bring another person into your existence under these terms and conditions, and if they're going to be okay with vice versa, because everybody is going to do this differently, and what works for you might not work for the other person. That's why you have to have the tough conversations, and quite frankly, the tough conversations are the ones that's going to eliminate most headaches in your life. You might look at this person and think they're attractive, you might think they're fun, you might think they're witty, they got a nice body, they got a nice source of income, and maybe you're even going into it with a Machiavellian type of a mindset. So you're dismissing the red flags anyway, in which case that shit gonna blow up on you regardless. But at the end of the day, if I decide that I have this person in front of me that I find to be interesting, and I want to be safe and smart about it, I have to be straight up. You got to know where I stand. Let's not bullshit each other. Let's keep it all the way 100 about where we are with this. Because if I'm not the one that fits in your format, I would rather know right now than find out later on. And you're going to have to go through some real growing pains. You can't just rush into an engagement within 6 months or within a year. You're going to have to put in groundwork, period. Straight, like, y'all be wanting to skip the process for everything. And you said something earlier that I thought was 100% true. You put a ring on somebody's finger and you don't even fucking know them like that. Or you'll know that they're a red flag, but because you horny or you're just attracted to the person and vice versa, and you just ignore everything else, they basically telling you straight up, I'm going to be a headache. I'm not going to listen to you. This is how I see things. When the polarities are not equal, there's always going to be a problem. When one person is silent and the other person is loud, there's always going to be a problem. Men are not supposed to be, all right, put it this way. I was about to say it in a way that probably would have came off wrong. There are two different ways men and women are supposed to be subservient to each other. But there's a hierarchy. Let me say that again. There is a hierarchy. I think that word is like eating something that you don't like and it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. When certain women hear the word hierarchy, it comes off like you're beneath the person or something. It's further from the truth. I would always advocate for people going reading the word. Read the word. I would rather you go and read the word than to listen to anybody on social media give advice about this type of stuff. Quite frankly, that's the most honest information that you could ever get out of any source. Go to the Bible. Go to that word. And then once you read the word and you really study it, then you inform your own decisions based off of that. See if it matches and correlates with what we talk about up here. If it does, then you have confirmation. If it doesn't, you have confirmation. Either way, you need to know for yourself. You and whoever you decide to get involved with, y'all need to know what's up. But if you want to keep on wasting time and playing around, then that's on y'all. It's not word salad. Nothing about it is word salad. Don't know how you formed that conclusion. It's not word salad. People get with each other for the wrong reasons all the time. You don't get to know the people. You don't really care to know what type of human being it is on the other end of the phone. You see something you like, you have a good time with them for a couple weeks, a couple months. You realize later on that you're not really as compatible with them as you thought you were. And it's all because you took shortcuts. You didn't go through the proper measures to figure out who you was dealing with. You got it.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you just said, man, people do gotta get to know people, man. And they got to share the same interest too. I'm gonna say that because that's a part of getting to know somebody. Sometimes, people might want different things, and that shit need to be put on the table so that way we'll know which direction we gonna be going in. Um, I will say this though, we gotta know whether someone's taking it serious or not taking it serious. You know what I'm saying? So to break it down, with these relationships, we gotta build a connection. And that's the thing. If you don't have a connection, why go to the next level? Why do that? And what I mean by a connection is touching back on what you said, you got to go through the growing pains of the connection. If somebody only want to get down with you because you up or everything going good, then that's not a real connection, good people. A real connection is that you can handle both sweet and sour. If you can't handle sweet and sour, then shit, they ain't your person. You're not connected. You're not if you're not willing to go out and stand in the rain with me, man, you ain't for me. That's facts. And most people want to stay for, a short time and not a long time. But that's up to you to find that out. You see what I'm saying? And it go back to that compatibility. And if you ain't compatible, then you're not gonna be sticking around. Bottom line. And if they want something serious, I just think it come down to what both people really want. If both people want to sleep around, then that's what's gonna happen. That's pretty much what's gonna happen. They both share the same interest in the other person. I might be sleeping with you right now, and then next week I'm on to the next. But it's an understanding though. That's all I'm saying. Don't leave a motherfucker in the dock. That's what I want to put on out there. Like, if that's who you are, let's be upfront about it. Like you say this grown folks talk, let's be grown about it. This is what I do, go state from state, and if that's the case, okay. But if you want to build a real connection with someone, man, you gotta put in some time, and you gotta get down to the nitty gritty, man, and do some talking, and you gotta share. You can't be afraid to share yourself, and you gotta be willing to listen to information being presented to you too. And I think that's another thing. People can't fucking listen. And the saddest part about that part is you being told a lot of stuff in the beginning. If you can't put that in your memory bank, that's you're gonna get tripped up. So I mean, it's a lot to go with it, man. But that's real spill right there, because the truth is, when people do a little pushback with this title shit, the truth is a lot of women do just want to be the the bride. They don't want, what I'm saying, they don't want to be the wife. They don't want that. When you compare the two, you get all that love, that celebration, all that money and stuff to get up there. You get to show the ring off and all that, like old girl get take me down through there and all that. So all that went down for you. But now, when the smoke is cleared and the dust settled, you living with that man. You know what I'm saying? You every day with that man. That man you did that for. That's your life partner. And that's when it hit. That's when it hit him. and I'm gonna put it on the table since we keep it at 100 on here. That's when you really say, "Damn, shit, I'm not used to this. I'm used to being a 304. It's fucked up. I'm not used to going home to one dude. Sad but true. Once all that smoke settled, man, you gotta be who you is. Then you find out what's going on with them. See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta finish the race. Same thing with the guy. I mean, do they just want to be grooms, or do they want to be husbands? You a groom. You did the same spiel she did. You was in there. All the families was in there. They celebrated y'all, toasted y'all danced the night away, whatever, honeymoon, all that's done. Now it's time to be, what your position is, your title. Pressure come right there too. You got to be the protector, the provider. You got to make sure everything good in the home. You got to make sure her life straight. If she got kids and all that, that's on you. You the husband. You got to stand on all that. Make sure everybody got vehicles. Financially straight. You can't run from none of that shit because you signed up. You a whole husband now. You see what I'm saying? So it go both ways. And what I'm saying is when all that hit and you do this, you go through with it and it's time to do your duties, then you find out if he play a player. Could he be committed to just one woman? Then his shit come out. He can't go across town no more and ride all through the night. He can't do that no more. He gotta come home to that woman. See, it get real then once you finish all of that. Then you gotta listen to that man. And when it's time to do these things, then you find out if somebody was really about that life or not. And if they not, you know what you got. You know what you committed to. You got it.
Well, the woman is addressing, and I started off the stream saying this. This was not about people who are confused about what they want to sign up for. Her statement was based on men who had their shit together. They got the careers, they got the finances, they go to the gym, they got all of the criterias that y'all asked for. We're not talking about Chad and Tyrone and the half-ass confused people who don't know what they want to do. They're here and there. We're talking about the ones who got it already figured out. They locked in. They want something serious. And these specific women don't want to listen to them. That's what this is specifically about. You asking for things, but you want, like you said, the wedding. You don't actually want the position itself. Why am I even walking down the aisle with you if you're not even going to listen to me? Why would you, matter of fact, why would you even, why would you go that far to say I do, to open your legs to me, and you don't trust me enough to be your security? Because isn't a part of marriage and a relationship about security too? Isn't that something that you have to take into consideration? See, men and women seek security within each other for different reasons. I don't know if y'all have gone down the rabbit hole far enough to understand that. But if you're asking me to make $200,000-300,000 a year. I gotta have a house. I gotta have money saved for college tuition, vacations. I gotta be fit. I gotta have my hairline, and I gotta have all of this shit. I gotta be Vin Diesel combined with Michael B. Jordan combined with Clark Kent and this, that, and the third. I gotta have all that as a form of security and safety, but you reject correction. Do you really want security? Because guess, let me tell you something, that comes with it too. Being told no, that comes with security. Me standing on the outside of the sidewalk, that comes with security. Me telling you to cut your friend off because they ain't worth a damn, that's a part of security. Me telling you or suggesting to you that you shouldn't wear that is a part of security. There's many forms of it. How are you picking and choosing when you want these things and when you don't want them? Or you just want to supplement from it? In which case, that's not going to last. That's not a marriage. That's a vacation spot. You want a roof over your head. You want a supervisor that pays you without you having to do anything. So if you're not going to listen to me, what's the point? Unless you're just there for the wrong reasons. That's what she's referring to. You will run a good dude away. Every time you reject him, every time you spit in his face and you show zero respect for his opinions, every time you challenge him on every single thing he tries to do around the house, every time you rebuke what he tries to impart on you, you're chipping away at him. Because slowly and surely but surely, he's looking at that, and it's just like a matter of time before it's like, well, damn, like what am I here for? You lied. You lied on your resume. This, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I asked for. I did my part. I showed up, made sure my fashion was where it needed to be at, made sure I took care of my health, made sure that our gene pool would survive for the next 50, 60 years, 100 years. I did everything that was told by society that I was supposed to do. But you can't do that in return. Yeah, that's a problem. You got it.
Yeah, man, that's a big problem. If if your wife not listening to you and stuff like that, that's bad. But going back to what I touched on earlier, man, it goes back to having those conversations and setting those boundaries up front, so you won't have to run into nothing like that. It's women out here that takes advantage of opportunities, man. Um, like you said, that guy had a nice job and all this stuff, but it still got to be some. He can have all of those things, but you gotta have that respect too, man. And it just seems like, her interest was probably somewhere else. And also with a lack of boundaries from the guy, he invited a lot of disrespect to come his way in this relationship. Because he could have. I mean, before you do that, like, let's just say you dating somebody or whatever like that, man or the woman, you can't expect nobody to, um let's just say, cut off all their male friends. Like, if a woman dating, man, she got other people she talking to, and you come in, you can't expect that. Same thing with her. She can't expect you, to cut off all your female friends off the rip. Why is that? Because you don't know what stuff gonna lead to. You don't know. It go back to that compatibility, and is we gonna build a strong connection? If we not gonna do that, then I don't see what's the point. You see what I'm saying? So basically, that's why those options stay open. And I think once you kind of move past certain stages in a relationship, then, like I said, conversations need to be had, boundaries need to be set. And once that's in place, then you shouldn't have nothing to worry about, because you already didn't draw the line with who you're dealing with. Man or woman did that, and yeah, you see what I'm saying? So once again, I don't see how you can walk down the aisle with somebody that don't give you a listening ear, not listening. That's crazy. Um, and then you gotta, yeah, and then you gotta be able to work together too. That's another thing. Can't just be you can't just be everything to one person, but then in return, you see what I'm saying? Like, what he doing all of this, he this way, but what is he getting in return? What is he doing all that for? You see what I'm saying? Because all of that is something that can benefit just him. He doing all that to benefit the lady, benefit that woman life, making her life better. That go back to being just some help. You know, if that's what you gonna be, you gonna be straight help, and that's not being loved correctly. You're not getting loved correctly if it's like that. You know, um, you guys got to be really. It really need to be a stronger interest there for everything to run smoothly in the relationship. And if you don't have that, you're gonna be going downhill. You're gonna be going downhill real fast. Um, a woman should listen to a she should listen to her man if she's gonna go all the way with him. You see what I'm saying? But some dudes ain't gonna get that. You see what I'm saying? Some dudes don't is not gonna get that listening, that cooperation from a woman, because they don't deserve it. You see what I'm saying? So every man don't deserve that. They don't. So that's why I say, if it take two, if they doing their part, if you doing your part as a man, then yeah, it's the woman's job to follow that man, guidance. And if she can't do that, that means it might be something fraudulent in the guy. You got it.
Nigga, you might as well just make it an arrangement then. If you ain't gonna take dudes serious, don't give the illusion that it's going to be something serious. Just call it for what it is. Y'all just hooking up. I don't know why it's so difficult. Unless you just going out of your way to manipulate this person, I can't see no other reason why people can't just be honest and straight up about their intentions. Like you just want to get your back blown out, or you just want to get your rocks off, and that's what it is. No strings attached. I'm not interested in knowing you as a person. I'm not interested in going down this long tunnel with you to the other side. We're not there. You cool. You got things about you that I like, but it's not that. It's, and that's okay. But that needs to be understood. But the cosplay as something that you're really not, and then the dude, he wake up one day and it's like trick or treat. Nah, that's where you're both wasting each other's time. I will say this, even with discernment, there are people that are extremely good at disguising their intentions. So some people can creep through and finesse you. But you got to be one of those real intuitive. I've been honing in on my stuff. You got to be one of them people to be able to catch it. And then you got to be okay with letting it go once you discover that it's not what you hoped it would be. You're going to have to be okay with that and walk away and just take the L. It's a lesson. L for lesson, not loss, but lesson. That wasn't your time. That wasn't your person. And it's okay. It happens.
And people wear masks.
And they wear them well. That's why you can't really afford to just open up so quick to everybody. As successful as you are, and she's referring to men who got it all together. Like even if you didn't have a multi-million-dollar mansion, you're just a regular person out here just getting it. You gotta hustle. You still can't afford to just have everybody in your life saying and doing whatever. You got to protect your peace and your spiritual journey at all costs, by all means necessary, because there are men that will take you through the ringer and destroy you. But just like I get up here and say women choose the wrong type of dudes pick the wrong type of women all the time. And we looking for the wrong stuff. That's how I know people are shallow, that we still are looking at materialistic things and aesthetics to guide us and lead us to happiness and joy and to fulfillment within another person. You're not looking at the inner sides of the individual. You're just grasping. Oh, if he or she is attractive, that's going to be enough to bring you joy and peace and satisfaction with your walk and with God. No, the person on the other side of you, laying next to you, has to be someone that you like, that respects you. If there's no respect, there is nothing else. Everything is done. Everything.
Oh, son of a...
If you don't listen to me, you don't respect me. If you don't listen to my views, if you don't care about what I got to say, you do not respect me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? I didn't mean. Please, continue.
Why am I here then? I can take my money, I can take my time, my efforts, my romance, my listening ear, my my vessel, my person. I can go be by myself, travel the world, invest in more businesses, connect and network with more people. I can remove myself from this headache. That's problematic. That's an unnecessary check, an unnecessary bill that I got to foot. Nobody wants to waste the other person's time, but we keep doing it. My final thoughts, and I'll let you land. No respect, no success. It has to be mutual, it has to be reciprocated, and it has to be honored. And it has to be based on doctrine. It has to be based on sound biblical doctrine. Your foundation cannot be built on worldly ideologies.
What the fuck was that?
I said what I said. You
Got that
got it.
Bernie, got that Bernie out there. Um, man, bro, this is for people getting into it though. I'm gonna say this, man. Everybody made the mistake. Everybody been down that road before, but it's so important for you to notice interest. It's a lot of people ignore red flags because they lonely, because they looking for something real fast. It's like it's a rush job. And also, while we on that note, you know, people know that some people do waste people's time because they want to use the shit out you. That's why they put it on the table. There's so many relationships, not even relationships, what we call them, situationships, that people getting used up like a bean. And why they getting used up? Because you know they probably got low self esteem, desperate, you know, pitiful. I mean, and they go for anything. That's not a connection. That's not nothing that I was describing. I'm talking about connections on here, man. Meaning, the only way it can be a connection is if you sharing yourself and the interest go up. If that interest is low, it's over, man. Like you say, she not going to have no respect for you. She not going to listen to what you say. It's no point of going down the aisle with her. She don't like you, and you about to waste about what three? You about to blow about $300 or $400 on a damn dinner, and sit down and look across for somebody who already got already making taxes at the dinner table to get her back blown out later by somebody else. It goes down. That stuff goes down.
Stop it. Get some help.
So we got to do better. We got to do better picking up on the signs, man, because you wasting your time if you don't see this shit before it go down. You wasting your time. It depends, and if you looking for something real, you got to know what real look like. I'm gonna put it to you like that. If you don't know what real look like, then you need to go back to the drawing board. You really do. You need to really go back to the drawing board and understand your worth. And whoever getting used out here, they don't know their worth. That's what it means. If you in a one-sided situationship, that means you lonely. 9 times out of 10, you desperate, you lonely, and you only know that person out of scarcity. It wasn't no genuine connection. And ask yourself, if you any guy, ask yourself, you know, are you with somebody because it's official or it's beneficial? Which one are you? Because
Bang, 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 bang.
because it's damn sure two types out here. Everybody that got somebody, it ain't all the way 100. You know what I mean? There's some funny shit in there, and you only know who you dealing with. Whoever you dealing with, you only should know that shit. But I'm just putting it on the table because there's a lot of people that don't look out for these signs with people, and you miss the point. You miss it. So what we got to do from here on out, good people, is you know, real recognize real, and when that happens, salute. And when that happens, then you'll find real. You'll find your person. But other than that, it's a whole lot of scammers out here. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of dirt bags. And from what that lady was talking about in that video, how the wife didn't listen to her husband and all that, and he stopped saying stuff to her and all that because she wouldn't listen. He is the example of somebody who got scammed. She probably was just a 304. Um, she wore a mask on his ass. He took the bait, and she revealed her true colors. Because 9 times out of 10, if somebody really scamming you, they're not going to really be the same person you start knowing in the beginning. That's how you know you got scammed. Once you give them what they want, and they get that what you call a security from you. Once they get that security out your ass, you not with that person. That person you knew is over with. It's dead. They gonna take the mask off. They're gonna rip me out the plastic like they acting brand new. They gonna act brand new. And you probably don't even get a damn plate no more.
Yo, that shit nasty. It's nasty as hell, bro.
It's
Cause
crucial. It's crucial work.
cause niggas, people they be sweet and everything at the beginning. As soon as you get too comfortable,
But see, this the trick though. This the trick. So just like you just said, sweet and nice in the beginning. See, that mad shit. Only thing that sweet and nice do is get what they doing is they trying to get you to reveal your hand. See, once that sweet and nice get over on you, and you still don't even know who you dealing with, and you start giving up all these gifts and loves and all that, man, you about to get destroyed out there. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, she gave you a fake version of her, and you gave her the real you, and she sandwiched your ass. She sized you slam up, so you already lost right there. And then if it escalate any further, you done. So that's what I'm saying. That was just to get you to drop your guard down, and she landing all types of shots on you. You feel me? So I mean, that's why I say it's bad to rush into something. And from what it said in that video earlier, it seemed like old boy didn't rushed into that, man, because that don't sound right. That if you knew that person well enough, why wouldn't you know that she wouldn't listen to you? That don't sound right. You supposed to know that before you do that. So that's what I'm saying. It's and you really can't blame the person for taking advantage of a person. You gotta take responsibility for yourself. Stop being needy. Stop being desperate. Enjoy your own company. I ain't gonna keep calling it lonely. Start enjoying your own company. Because soon as you get a little smile and a laugh from somebody, you didn't share your whole you shared your whole background, gave up your whole life story. Man, you about to go down the rabbit hole. She didn't got you to reveal your whole hand. You can't do that. You can't be so quick to do that. So, let this be a lesson. Take your time. If you trying to build a genuine connection with somebody, go for that. Go for the genuine connection. Stop accepting these fake receipts because they out here. And the next thing you know, you didn't gamble your future with somebody, and you see what I'm saying? It's a lot of people, man. I'm telling you, they unhappy. They didn't know. And Chris Tucker then just made a joke about the shit about that mask. He said they say all the nice stuff and sweet talk you, everything you say, yes, I'll do it, I got it. Then soon as go all the way with them and you put them there, you put them at that level. He said he asked for a sandwich, man. She turned around, it was a whole different person. You fix your own damn sandwich. Like, damn, where'd that come from? After you didn't went and did what you did. You see what I'm saying? So that part there is what people need to really close in on. You don't really know a person, man, until you really know them. Start getting to know people, man. Don't be so quick to throw your life away like that. That's all I got on it, though.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Look, man, we about to get up out of here. Shout outs though. It is what it is. I hope this helps somebody. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. I appreciate you for pulling up. SM, salutes to you. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope everybody enjoy their weekend. Happy 4th to everybody who's celebrating it. Be safe out there. If you're going to be out there, it's supposed to get worse in terms of the heat. So y'all keep plenty of water, ice, all that. We don't need nobody passing out and all that stuff, man. Europe is going through hell right now. I can't believe what I'm seeing over there.
What's the temperature over there?
Bro, I don't know what the temperature is, but nigga, they got shit melting. I seen somebody's car, the hood of the car, that shit melted, like literally melted. It's like I ain't never seen no shit like that, bro.
Sure, they gotta be 500 or better over there then.
It's bad.
Yeah, but we
So
all gonna be in the triple digits. So like you said, make sure you have your water ice cold. I know I will. And make sure the AC working because it's bad. I done seen people walk and pass out here, man. So if you don't if you don't got no car, nut, man, don't walk. That's my advice.
with that being said, do me a solid before y'all go.
What's the goddamn button?
See y'all tomorrow, Lord willing. Y'all be easy. Peace.
About them triple digits. Fireworks.
The flow insane. Take my spot, so the range. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. Third degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so boss, we're not the same. Paid the cost and kept the change.